Million, let me ask you something. Are you living your life as the person you were meant to become? 1 million? Or are you still stuck playing the role that others wrote for you, friends, family, society? Because here's the truth, real confidence, true, unshakable confidence, only comes when you're ready to destroy your old identity. This hack isn't gentle. Million. It's not a motivational quote on your mirror. It's an internal war. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to get disciplined. You have to outwork the version of yourself that's settled. That version that got used to average, to approval, to excuses. Confidence doesn't grow in comfort. It grows when you choose pressure, when you wake up early, train when you don't feel like it, take risks that scare you, push past limits until they break. The extreme hack is this: million. Act like the person you want to become before you feel like them. Walk into every room like you belong there, not because they told you so, million, but because you earned it in silence. Confidence is not loud. It's built in private and revealed in moments where others would fold. Million, you don't wait for the world to give you permission. You create the version of you that demands respect. Not with words, but with results. Million, the truth is, your old identity is comfortable. It's lazy, it's soft, it waits for motivation, it hides behind fear. That version of you is not invited to the next level. So you have two choices: protect your ego or destroy it. One gives you comfort, the other gives you power. The most extreme transformation is internal. It's when you stop hoping and start executing. You stop asking how and start doing. When your habits start to reflect the future you, not the past, and that's when the old identity starts dying, when your standards rise, when you no longer tolerate mediocrity, when your actions scream who you are becoming. So if you're looking for the hack, the shortcut, it's this: million, do the work that your future self would do, even if your current self is terrified. The moment you train like the person you want to be, speak like them, move like them, your brain adapts, your nervous system aligns, your reality shifts. Confidence becomes a byproduct, not a goal. But make no mistake, this isn't for everyone. Most people won't do it because destroying your old identity means sacrificing your comfort, your past, your excuses. But if you're willing to pay the price, you'll become someone even you didn't believe was possible. This is not about pretending, it's about embodying day after day, rep after rep, until your new identity is undeniable. Million, until your confidence is not based on what people say, but on what you've proven to yourself in silence. Destroy the old you, the one who hesitates. Million, the one who hides, the one who talks more than he acts. Replace him with the one who shows up every single day with the mindset of a champion. That's the hack. It's extreme. It's painful, but it's the only way to become unstoppable. 5 keynotes of the speech. True confidence is built by destroying your comfort-based identity and replacing it with discipline-driven action. Million, you must act like the future version of yourself before you feel ready, training your mind and body to rise to that standard. Confidence is forged in private, in early mornings, relentless work, and pressure-filled moments, not in external validation. Your old self thrives on excuses and fear. Your new identity demands discomfort, execution, and unshakable standards. This confidence hack is extreme because it demands transformation, not affirmation, and only those who are willing to outgrow their past will unlock it. True confidence is built by destroying your comfort-based identity and replacing it with discipline-driven action. Million, most people misunderstand confidence. They think it's something you're born with or something you feel after achieving something. But the truth is, confidence is something you create. It's not a gift, it's a result. Adder million. And that result only comes when you do something very few are willing to do. Completely dismantle the version of yourself that seeks ease. Million, that avoids challenge and that hides behind excuses. That comfort-based identity, the one that plays it safe, is what's holding you back. It's the voice in your head that says, I'm not ready, maybe tomorrow. What if I fail? It's the mindset that prioritizes feeling good over being great. It loves routine, even when that routine is toxic. It loves approval, even if that approval keeps you small. And it especially loves to keep you busy with things that feel productive, but never actually move the needle forward. Million, real confidence begins the moment you choose discomfort over routine. It starts when you force yourself to get up when you don't want to. Million, when you train even when you're tired, when you study, practice, work, and grind even when nobody is watching. Every time you make that decision, you chip away at the old identity, the version of you that would have skipped it, delayed it, made an excuse, or complained is slowly replaced by someone sharper, stronger, and more dangerous. You can't develop confidence by reading about it or watching others live it. You build it in the moments you want to quit, but don't. You earn it in the hours when no one is clapping for you. That's where discipline takes over. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Million, it doesn't ask if you're motivated. It shows up on time. It trains with intensity. It executes the plan whether you're inspired or not. And through this repetition, your body and mind start to change. Your standards rise. Your expectations for yourself increase. You stop negotiating with weakness. And this internal transformation is what creates unshakable confidence. 1 million. People often try to protect their current identity by defending their limits. They say, I'm just not like that, or I'm not that type of person. But that's the lie comfort tells you. You're not locked into who you've been. The truth is, the brain is malleable. You can rewire how you think, how you act, how you respond. Million, but the price is discipline. The price is showing up again and again until the new identity becomes natural, until you no longer need to push yourself because the new standard is simply who you are now. You won't always see the results right away. And that's part of the process. Discipline doesn't guarantee instant reward. That's why so many give up. They want to feel different first. Now's a million. But it's not about feeling different. It's about doing different. And doing different, even when you don't feel like it, is the exact moment when confidence starts to grow. You start to trust yourself. You stop needing other people to validate you. You stop measuring yourself by likes, applause, or recognition. You start becoming grounded in your own consistency. This transformation is not glamorous. It's repetitive. It's quiet. It's a grind. But every day you follow through, you become harder to shake, harder to doubt, and harder to beat. You walk differently. You speak differently. Million, you stop playing small because you've already proven to yourself in private who you really are. Confidence becomes who you are, not something you need to find. So when people wonder how to develop confidence, the answer isn't a trick, it's a decision. A decision to sacrifice comfort for growth. A decision to show up no matter what. A decision to stop protecting your old identity and start building the one that can carry your potential. Confidence isn't found, it's forged. Million. And the only fire hot enough to do that is discipline. You must act like the future version of yourself before you feel ready. Done. Million. Training your mind and body to rise to that standard. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make if you truly want to change your life. Most people wait. They wait until they feel more confident, more experienced, more talented, more accepted. Million. They believe they need to become someone first in order to act like that person. But the truth is the opposite. You become that person by acting like them consistently. Before you feel qualified, action comes before identity. Million. The future you is not something you meet one day by accident. It's someone you build day by day through deliberate behavior. Million. This approach is uncomfortable because it requires you to act outside your current belief system. It forces you to operate with a higher standard. Million, even though your results haven't caught up yet, it asks you to walk like someone who has already won, speak like someone who already believes, and train like someone who already dominates. And that's where most people quit, because it feels like pretending. But it's not pretending, it's training. When an athlete first tries a new skill, they don't wait to feel like a champion to perform it. They drill it until it becomes second nature. In the same way, when you step into the role of the future version of yourself, 100 million, you're not faking anything, you're rehearsing greatness. Confidence doesn't come when you say you're going to do something. Million, it comes when your habits reflect the level of the person you aspire to become. That means even when you're not sure, even when there's doubt, even when it feels out of reach, you still move with discipline and intent. Your current self may be filled with hesitation, million, but the future version of you, the ones who's already achieved it, doesn't hesitate. So if you want to become them, you have to study how they would move, think, and execute. What time do they wake up? How do they train? How do they handle fear, failure, that a million and pressure? Then match those behaviors, because your brain doesn't know the difference between acting and being, not at the beginning. It just knows repetition. The more you act like that version, the faster your identity catches up. Million. The most elite performers in the world understand this. They don't just perform at a high level, they prepare at a high level. They visualize. Million. They dress the part, they organize their routines around their future, not their past. They don't show up to practice like amateurs and expect professional results. They show up like they already belong at the top, not arrogantly, but with purpose. That purpose, that intention, that energy, those are the things that mold confidence. That's what forces the internal shift. You, over time, you begin to believe because your actions keep stacking proof. You become undeniable to yourself. This mindset kills procrastination. It eliminates the need to wait for motivation, because now you're not trying to feel ready. You're already acting ready. Million, you're ahead of your emotions, ahead of your fears, and that's how you win. You don't wait until you're fearless to step up. You step up until fear has no place left to stand. Million, when you change your behavior to match your future, your mind starts upgrading your identity to match that behavior. You stop identifying as someone who's trying and start becoming someone who does. Confidence grows from the gap you close between intention and action. And the more that gap disappears, million, the more certain you become, not just in your goals, but in yourself. Your words carry weight, your presence shifts rooms. Million, not because you said you would become great, but because your habits already reflect that greatness. The world won't believe in you until you do. Million, and you won't believe in you until your actions prove you're no longer tied to your old self. Every time you show up with the mindset of the person you want to be, you weaken the old identity. You disrupt the patterns. Million, you accelerate the transformation, and eventually the line between who you are and who you wanted to be disappears. That's how real confidence is created, from consistent action aligned with your future long before the world notices. Confidence is forged in private, in early mornings, relentless work, and pressure-filled moments, not in external validation. Million. Most people misunderstand where real strength comes from. They think confidence is something you get once people start applauding you, once success arrives, once recognition lands, but that's not how it works. Confidence doesn't come from approval, it comes from preparation. It's built behind the scenes, when nobody's watching, when it's just you and the grind, when there are no cameras, no likes, no audience. Valor's million, that's where it lives, that's where it grows. When you wake up early to train, to learn, to work on your craft while the world sleeps. Zin million, that's when you gain the edge. Because in those moments, you're not relying on motivation, you're creating discipline. Discipline is what shows up when inspiration runs out. And every time you keep a promise to yourself in those quiet hours, your self-respect increases. You start to trust yourself. That trust is the root of confidence, not ego, not false bravado, real, million, unshakable belief in who you are because you've proven it through consistent effort when nobody else was around to see it. Those early mornings, those late nights, those lonely hours, they sharpen you. They turn pressure into fuel. Every rep in the gym, every page you study, million, every uncomfortable decision you make, when no one's forcing you to, that's what separates you. Because most people only show up when they have to. Million, they show up when the deadline is near or when others are watching. But champions show up whether it's visible or not, whether anyone claps or not. They live in the shadows before they shine in the spotlight. The problem is, we live in a world obsessed with appearances. Million, people chase the image of confidence instead of the roots of it. They post, they perform, they pretend. But when the moment of pressure comes, ones, 1 million, the ones who didn't do the work collapse. They don't trust themselves because deep down they know they skipped steps, they avoided the pain, they chose comfort. Real confidence can't be faked. It's either there or it isn't. 1 million. And the only way to have it when you need it is to earn it before anyone's paying attention. That's why the quiet work is so important. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary. It's the foundation. Without it, everything else is just surface level. 1 million, you want to be someone who performs under pressure, then you need to suffer under pressure in private first. 1 million, you need to train yourself to keep going when your mind says quit, when your body says stop, when your emotions say it's not worth it. 1 million, that's where confidence is carved, in resistance, in repetition, in resilience. You don't get confidence from results, you get it from effort. 1 million, sir. The results come later, but the belief starts to grow the moment you show up for yourself when there's no one to impress. When you hold yourself to a higher standard day after day, you start to realize you don't need validation. You don't need permission. You don't need to be seen to be great. Greatness grows in silence. And when you finally step into the spotlight, you're not hoping you're good enough. You know you are. Because you've done it in the dark, you've failed, adjusted, repeated, and grown. You've faced the voice in your head that doubts you and beat it with action. That inner victory is what makes the outer results possible. 1 million. People see the performance, the confidence, the strength, but they don't see the lonely reps that built it. That's okay? They're not supposed to. That part is for you. That's what gives you the edge. That's why you walk with power. Because you know what it took to get there. Confidence isn't built on what people think of you. It's built on what you've done when they weren't there. It's not about showing up big once. It's about showing up small, daily, million without applause. That's the truth of it. The quiet work is the loudest statement you'll ever make. Your old self thrives on excuses and fear. Your new identity demands discomfort, execution, and unshakable standards. The gap between who you are and who to become is filled with excuses. Millions. It's filled with rationalizations, self-doubt, and all the reasons you've given yourself to avoid change. The old version of you is deeply attached to comfort. It seeks familiarity. Million. It tells you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into the unknown. Million. And that's why it keeps winning, because it convinces you that discomfort is danger, that struggle is failure, and that fear is a signal to stop. But nothing could be further from the truth. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a doorway. It shows you exactly where growth lives, and discomfort. That's not the enemy, that's the training ground. That's the signal that you're reaching beyond your old limits. The new version of you, the one with clarity, purpose, and confidence, doesn't avoid discomfort. It chooses it, it runs toward it. Million. Because that new identity understands that the cost of staying the same is far greater than the pain of growth. The person you've been up until now has patterns. Those patterns are designed for survival, not for greatness. They're built around avoidance, procrastination, and protection. You tell yourself you're not ready. You tell yourself next week will be better. Million. You tell yourself it's not the right time. But all those lies serve one thing, the preservation of your current identity. And the longer you protect it, the more it controls you. Million. It's not your potential that's lacking, it's your willingness to surrender the outdated version of yourself. To break through, you need new standards. Standards that don't accept excuses. Standards that demand more from you every single day. You need to shift from asking, do I feel like it? To declaring, this is who I am now. When you set a new standard, you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop explaining your inaction, you stop playing small, because now your actions must match your future, not your past. Million. That shift doesn't come from motivation, it comes from decision. You decide who you're going to be, and you back it with consistent, relentless execution. And that's where the discomfort becomes your weapon. Every time you act despite fear, every time you follow through despite doubt, you train your mind to trust your new identity. You're not looking for confidence, you're building it rep by rep, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. Execution is the language of transformation. It speaks louder than potential. It doesn't care about your background, your past mistakes, million, or your current level. Execution says, show me who you are through what you do. The new version of you doesn't wait to be perfect. It moves, it stumbles, it adapts, it gets stronger because it refuses to stand still. It doesn't complain, it adjusts, it doesn't hope, it prepares. That identity is forged through relentless effort, not wishful thinking. There's no magic in becoming someone new. There's just discipline. Dali million, there's commitment. There's showing up when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one's cheering. Your new identity doesn't need comfort. It doesn't seek validation. It's fueled by vision, responsibility, and grit. And every time you choose execution over excuses, that identity takes over a little more. You stop being the person who talks about change and start becoming the person who creates it. Fear will still be there. Doubt will still whisper. But now they don't control you, they challenge you. And because your standards are higher, your habits stronger, and your vision clearer, those old fears lose their power. Million. The person you used to be can't survive the habits of the person you are becoming. That's the truth. You either feed your past or build your future. And if you're serious about confidence, about success, about becoming elite, million, then it's time to stop giving the old you a seat at the table. Let discomfort become your teacher. Let execution be your discipline, a million. And let your standards decide what version of you gets to survive. This confidence hack is extreme because it demands transformation, million, not affirmation. And only those who are willing to outgrow their past will unlock it, million. Most people search for confidence like it's something to be given to them. They look for it in compliments, in validation, in likes, in applause, million. They think if enough people believe in them, they'll start believing in themselves. But that's not confidence, that's dependence. Real confidence doesn't grow from being told you're good enough. It grows from doing what most people avoid. It grows from making decisions that scare you, from taking actions that stretch you, and from leaving behind the version of yourself that's been holding you back. Transformation is hard because it's first brutal to the ego. It strips away your identity. It forces you to admit that what brought you here won't take you there, million. It makes you confront your weaknesses instead of hiding them. The truth is, million, most people aren't afraid of failure. They're afraid of letting go of who they've always been. Million, because change threatens the identity they've become comfortable with, even if it's limiting. But transformation doesn't care about comfort. It demands evolution. It requires that you burn the old blueprint and build something better, stronger, sharper from the ground up. The reason this hack is so extreme is because it doesn't let you escape responsibility. It doesn't let you shift blame. It puts the mirror in your face and says, you are either becoming the person you were born to be, or you're defending the person you were taught to be. There is no middle ground. You either rise or you retreat. And in this process, million, affirmation is a trap. It makes you feel like you're progressing when really you're just being praised for standing still. $1 million. That's why transformation hurts. It doesn't give you permission to play small. It doesn't wait until you feel ready. It demands that you act as if you already are the person you want to become. That means waking up earlier. That means pushing harder. That means saying no to distractions, to mediocrity, to anything that doesn't align with your future. That means disappointing people who are used to the old version of you. Million. That means becoming someone so different that even your past self wouldn't recognize you. But that's where confidence is built, million, in the pain of change, in the discipline of doing what needs to be done, not what feels good. You stop needing external affirmation because your actions become your proof. Million, you don't walk into the room hoping they believe in you. You walk in knowing you've earned it because you've lived it. Million, because you've done it alone, in silence, when it was hard, when no one was watching. And when you've done that enough times, there's a calm that settles into you, a certainty, not arrogance, not noise, just clarity, just presence. That's real confidence. This hack demands sacrifice. You have to let go of laziness, let go of excuses, let go of the fear of judgment. Million, you have to let go of being liked by everyone and start being respected by yourself. The version of you that wins is not created in moments of convenience. It's built in decisions that break patterns. The ones that say, I'm done being average. I'm done being controlled by fear. I'm done lowering my standards to fit in. That kind of decision doesn't feel safe, but it feels right. And it changes everything. Million, only the brave unlock this. Only the ones who are willing to break free from their old story and write a new one through action, repetition, and discipline. That's the price. And it's not one you pay once, it's daily, hourly. In the choices you make, in the habits you build. Million, in the mindset you protect. If you're looking for affirmation, you'll stay stuck. But if you're ready for transformation, million. If you're ready to outgrow your past, then this hack will change your life. Because the moment you stop trying to convince the world, million, and start proving it to yourself through action, you won't need confidence, you'll be confidence. The path to real confidence isn't smooth, comfortable, or easy. It's raw, demanding, and deeply personal. Million. It doesn't come from waiting to feel ready or from hoping the world notices your potential. It comes from choosing discipline over excuses. Million. Showing up when it's hard and living as the person you want to become before any evidence supports it. 1 million. Confidence is not about what others think of you. It's about what you've proven to yourself in silence. The old version of you will beg for comfort, for shortcuts, for approval. But the version that rises, the one that dominates, embraces discomfort, executes relentlessly, and holds impossible standards. This isn't a feel-good message. It's a challenge. Destroy your old identity, replace it with action, and let the world meet the person you were always meant to become.